Welcome to Mountain Head Outdoors. This is going to be a video about what I do to prep my snowboards. This is also specifically for Bean. You know who you are. Benny, just in case, because I know you like to watch my stuff. Basically the list is I like to do any edge work, which can include everything from sharpening to deburring to removing rust off the rails. And then I use rotobrushes. So rotobrushes or hand brush. After I do edge work, I do like to clean up so that there's not like metal in the base when I go to like clean it to remove old wax and stuff. So what I will do is I'll do a base cleaner after edge work, and then I use rotobrushes. So I use brass rotobrush to remove like old wax. I don't use a base prep wax, which is a special wax made by companies like One Ball J when manufacturing, that you iron on and then scrape warm and it kind of removes old wax. I don't really use that because I generally take care of my boards pretty well. I'm not saying like anything that I do here is best practice. This is just my practice. This is what works for me, keeps my boards in good shape, and keeps me cruising when you have to do a lot of traverses and stuff and different changing snow conditions. So edge work, clean with a base cleaner. Use brass brush. Some people use steel brushes to remove just remnants of old wax and a little bit of dirt. Then I base clean it again, and then I do my hot wax, I do my scraping, and then I do a nylon brushing and a horsehair brushing to kind of finish it up. So I'm going to kind of break everything down in sections. This was just kind of like the header for the video. So if there is always at any point, if there's any questions, just go ahead and post them in the comments. If you're Bean or Benny, you can call me too. That's about it for now. I'm gonna get to making like the individual videos. All right, thanks. All right, this is a remake of the gummy stone part, like to take rust off the edges. I ran out of battery power, so this is a different board than I was working on before. Anyway, here's some rust. This is one kind of gummy stone. These are a couple different, here's one gummy stone. These are a couple different grits, whatever. So what you want to do with a gummy stone, you can do a lot of different ways. You can just do the corner, you can do this, you can do, like, you can turn it, but the deal is mostly that you want to not move onto the edge, or not move past the edge onto the base. It's hard to get like a lot of speed, but you can get pressure, whatever. Pretty self-explanatory. As you can see, these work pretty well to get the rust right off, get back down to clean metal. Some boards, or some edges on some boards just rust easier than others. My brand new Ride Berserker has horrible rust. Benny says to wipe your edges, which I've started to do. Anyway, nice and clean right there. Super easy. Takes the rust right off. You can do, like, people detune their edges. I don't detune my edges. I don't know if you can see me cleaning over here, but anyway, nice and clean. Yeah, comes right off. That's it. Simple, easy. You can go all the way around the board, whatever. This board doesn't really have too many problems with rust. You do want to keep it pretty like even. Like I wouldn't go too much like this direction or like down angle or up angle. Try and keep it pretty flat. You can use your finger to kind of like brace right here, but make sure you're exerting some good downward pressure, or else it doesn't really do much of anything. But again, it's pretty easy to like stay on the edge and not go over into the base. I think if you go over into the base, you run the chance of getting rust or even like metal like down into the base material, or just starting to remove base material, which you want to definitely avoid. Easy. That's it. Gummy stone section done. So with the roto brushes, you have brass, you got nylon, you got horsehair. This is cleaning. Waxing's gonna go in between. Here, let's do this. Waxing goes in between, and then you scrape nylon to remove excess, kind of brush it out, and horsehair for a fine brushing. If you've got a really dirty base on your skis or your snowboard, whether you do edge work or not, I would clean it with the base cleaner and then let that dry, or you can wipe it off with the dry cloth. And then I would use the brass to remove old wax and dirt, and then I'd clean it again with the base cleaner. But this base is in pretty good condition, so I'm just gonna kind of do it like quick and dirty. Couple things with the roto brush kit. This, useless. Because what happens is it'll just scrape the board. You're gonna need to be going like this, and it'll scrape the board. Trust me, this thing is meant to like lock in here, take it, pull it off, done. I never use either of those, and I'll show you why in a minute. So anyway, let's put the brass brush on. You can leave the bar inside the drill. It's got like a little hex thing right here. And then this like goes, and then it pops on. So when it comes time to change a brush, you can just go like that, take it off. You don't have to take it out of the drill. Anyway, from Race Racks, they say do tip to tail on the cleaning. Everything else you're gonna do is, or sorry, they say do with the brass tail to tip. And then everything else, waxing and brushing, is all tip to tail. So you can do it from this end. I'll just flip the board around because I like moving in a certain direction, because that's the way my brain is. So the rotation is going to be normal because you want everything coming towards you. So on your drill rotation, it's clockwise. With the brass, and the horsehair brush, you're doing medium speed, medium pressure. With the nylon, you can do a higher speed, higher pressure. You just don't want the like bristles going everywhere. So anyway, you're just going all the way down. You're pressing. Cool. I guess there wasn't much wax on this board, maybe. I don't know. You're just doing this a grip at times. Like if you were to do this brass brush, like after you scraped and nyloned and horsehair, there'd be a ton coming off. So do it to your own kind of level of satisfaction. You can always like take a blue towel and you can see what's on there. You can see it's like a little wax, maybe a little brown, a little dirty. You know, there's not much wax, like, there shouldn't be much wax on the board, because what you're doing is you're heating everything up, whether you're using hot wax or if you're doing rub on with a cork kind of will heat up because it's high friction. It'll heat up the base as you go. And you're getting like wax in the pores. So you don't really want wax on the board. That's gonna like theoretically slow you down. I'm never doing it perfect, so there's always gonna be some wax on the board. So, okay, so we've cleaned it with the brass brush. A little bit on here, and you're just gonna pick the tip or pick the tail and kind of in one direction. I suppose you could go like back and forth. So you're not really pushing anything off the edge, so people get super technical. Again, this is like just my way of doing it. And we'll see how much dirt was on here. Yeah, you can kind of see a little bit, not too much, not too bad. So take a clean side. It soaks through pretty well. This cleaner is basically, I think it's like Gooby Gone. It smells like orange cleaner. I think that's all it is. Anyway, before you wax, you want this to completely dry. I've found that it kind of makes the wax bubble up a little bit. You can take a clean rag. You can wipe it off. Again, I'd still let it dry a little bit before you go any further. So that's it. That's like how you prep the base for waxing. A couple things I guess I will go over while it's drying. If you need to sharpen a scraper, this is 3M 120. Works pretty good. I use this for a straight edge. You could use a block of wood if you want. They have scraper sharpeners. So Bean, you got this one. This is a thicker scraper. It's not going to need sharpening for some time. They gave me this one. They might throw this one in. This one's just a little bit thinner. It's the same kind. You can see the difference. I got you one of these because these are just, I don't know, they're cool scrapers when you're going to scrape. Yeah. So, you know, you're like this, two-handing it. You can do this way, like kind of get more pull, get more down on it. This is, you can't get into the base as well. So that's kind of personal preference and depending like how much, how hard the wax is. These are cool because you can just get a grip on it and you can like pull like this, or you can, you know, you can do this angle, and you can still get like a lot of like downward pressure on it. If you have like parts of the board that are uneven, this thick scraper is useless. What you can do with these though, and especially this one, is you can curve it. So you're like kind of curving it like this, curving it like outward like this, like pushing in here, and then you can like really get in like valleys and stuff on boards again that are imperfect like this. You can kind of, that's really easy to do. Or that's if you're going this way. If you're going this way, then you're going to be pushing down with your thumbs to curve it out like this. So depends on which orientation of your scraper you prefer. that's about all on that part. Yeah, we'll do some waxing and stuff in a few. All right, so waxing portion. Again, different board because I had to redo this. I'm having to redo this part of the video because I ran out of battery power. Should have done this before. First thing, get this brass brush out of here because it looks like the horsehair brush. So it's easy to mix up. And after you do all your nylon brushing and stuff, you put that brass brush on and start taking off wax that you don't really want to take off. Here we go. So I'm going to use this wax today, this all temp. This is 28 to 21. This is 28 and above. Just for sample, this is 12 and colder. You need different temps to melt all these. Colder waxes are harder and you need more heat. Also, this ice cold wax, you want to scrape it while it's still warm because it's really hard when it resolidifies. So the all temp, for the most part, and definitely the warmer ones, you can like walk away and come back like hour or 2 hours later, whatever, and they're pretty easy to scrape. Anyway, again, I'm going to use this all temp wax. When you use these X waxes with the bars, best way to do it I've found is to stack them up like this and melt them like this. Or you can do them separate. Do the speed additive and then do the main wax or mineral additive, whatever they call it. But holding them together is the best way to do it. That is about it. Also on this, so this is an old Burton iron. You have to like kind of guess at it. The general rule is you don't want the wax smoking. I think a little bit of smoke's okay, but you don't want it like super smoking. It's okay if it's like right on the line because you do want to be able to like drip it in and you want it to be able to melt well. So anyway, you're just holding it up against here. Make sure that you have enough right here that your cord can move with you and it's not going to bind up on you. You do want a good amount of wax because you need to cover all over the board. With some bases, like the one that I was using before was a good example. That Rome Blur was a really, really flat base. On older boards and skis, you will get some unevenness of the base. It's just not perfect. Plus this iron again is old, so I'm sure it's warped a little bit. There we go. That's enough for now. So you pretty much first thing is to get the wax initially melted. I split the board into 3 sections, 1, 2, 3, and I do 3 passes. The instructions say 10 minutes, so that's about how long it takes. You don't have to sit and watch this whole video, but I'm gonna film it all nonetheless. So you can see that it's not getting all the way to the edge, like right here. So what you can do, you can move the iron towards the edge. I do this like little wiggle thing. But anyway, first is just to melt and get the wax spread out. That's the most important part on the first pass. These boards, most newer boards and skis have structure in the base, which is lots of little lines in the plastic. It's kind of like ruffles, ridges. I believe the purpose is so, especially in warmer, well, it's more surface area, more pores to hold wax, but it also breaks up like potential suction in warmer snow, because if you have something perfectly flat on wet snow, it's gonna suction the board to it, or the skis, whatever. So that structure is important. Yeah, so I said that the structure is important because of because there's more pores for the wax to get in. So that's the theory of waxing, is you're getting wax into the pores, you're heating it. This is why hand waxing is better than machine waxing, because machine waxing is just putting hot wax on a cool board. It's not really opening the pores of the board. It's getting wax on the board and not in there, which a little bit of wax on there, I don't know. For those of us that aren't doing the legendary bank slalom and racing, I think a little bit of wax on there is okay. It's not going to kill you. It's not going to kill your speed. But the idea is to heat everything up, open up those pores, and get wax in the pores. They say wax in the board, not wax on the board. But anyway, getting this all the way to the edges and stuff. I'll show you how to do how to remove wax from the edges. Because wax on the edges is cool during summer, during storage, but if you have a bunch of wax on there, it's going to slow you down during normal season. So anyway, all right, cool. So I got it nice and spread out there. So just nice and slow, like this, and you can, on the tip and tail, it's curved, obviously, so the iron's flat, so you're gonna have to kind of go a little bit slower. Downward pressure, I'm not putting that much pressure on. You can see, hopefully, the tail of the wax to see if it's being melted nice and even, which it is on this board. Again, I like to do the wiggle like this. Just a little back and forth. You can tell from this edge right here the effect that it's having. And again, this is with the microstructure. If you are heating the pores, this is gonna help like push it in, I think. Some people would say that it doesn't. It's just kind of the way my brain works. Again, like everything in this video, this is not necessarily best practice. This is my practice. So I think the tip of the board's pretty important, because especially if you're in powder, you're going to want to make sure that you're not ignoring that front. That's the first thing that sees snow, first part of the board or the ski that sees snow. So you're going to want that to get heated up nicely and get the wax integrated. Yeah, the wiggle method, I don't know, I've never seen it done, but I kind of like it. Again, it's the way my brain works. Makes me feel good. You can start to feel the underside of the board and see where it's heated up. You do want to feel a little bit of warmth through the underside, well, top side of the board, but underside for us. So you can see where like it didn't melt. There you go. Nice. So again, this is second total pass of 3 passes. If you're going a little bit quick, you can do, I suppose you could do 4 total passes. It does help a little bit to kind of put downward pressure on the board. This wax is drying pretty quick, or yeah, it's coming back up to temperature and solidifying pretty quick because it's cold in this garage, probably 55 degrees. So feel for warmth. Yeah, we don't have any cool spots. There's a little dog hair from Wrangler. Love that. Yeah, we got some warmth in there. So now just I'm just gonna do one more pass. One thing I do notice, if you don't, I don't know, I've been seeing like little droplets of wax form. I think that's the base cleaner. I'm not sure. Could be just a little bit of humidity in the making sure we're getting those edges. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, little droplets of base cleaner, I think, maybe. Make the wax form droplets here and there. Could be humidity somehow getting in the wax. I don't know. So if you got wax on your edges, on your metal edges, it means that you're getting coverage typically. But you can see, like, it's very, very plain to see where the wax is covering. Minute video. Nice. Making sure you're keeping that cord out of the way so you have freedom of movement. Easy for it to get hung up. I am doing all temp wax on this board. I tend to use this Ravine Select when it's more powdery days. This next week is going to be super cold, so yeah, we'll see. Probably not going to use it this week because it's going to be an all groomer week at 49. So for groomers, I'll probably take out the, well, I'm going to take out the roam blur because I want to see how fast I can go on that board. That board is just good for like carving and straight lining pretty much. Float is horrible, and I'm having to press a little bit here to get this, like, you want to see that like fully melted like tail, whether you're going straight or doing the wiggle. You want to see wetness all the way across. Anyway, so for groomers, I'll take out the blur this week, but normally I'd just do the Berserker, the Excavator. Those are my best carving boards. So just do a feel. You want warmth, you don't want heat. I mean, the only way you're gonna get it like super hot is if you leave it on there. Leave the iron sitting on there. All right, so every scraper has these notches in it, and the notches are for removing, there you go, are for removing wax off the edges. So we can do that now while it's cooling. So don't go into it, like, don't lean in, right, on any of these, because then you'll remove wax from the base that needs to cool. So just go in and start on the edge, and you can lean in. You can tilt it just a little that way, and you'll get that wax right off. Some of it will come off on the when you scrape the base. If the base is really well constructed, some of this will come off along with the base wax when it comes time to scrape. So yeah, super easy, super fun. I am going to make sure I got wax all the way to the edge. I don't think I got coverage on that back. I don't think I got coverage very much on the very back little bit here. Not to my liking, at least. There we go. Boom. Coming, hosing wax off the end of there. Sweet. Again, I mean, this isn't normal practice. Normally it'd be done, but just don't be afraid to get some wax on that, on all that front rocker area. Super important. Get it in the pores. Nice. Cool. Anyway. There's no like perfect way to do this. You kind of come up with your own system of waxing and tuning and cool. So that's it. That's the waxing part. I should have the scraping part already recorded. Like I said, I had to go back and do this because of running out of battery power. This is, by the way, this is about like 5 or 6 boards worth of wax. So I think that these do like 15 to 20 boards, depending on how much wax you like to drip on. Anyway, that's it. We will see you in the next segment. So I never actually showed you the sharpening the scraper part. So again, like 120, you can get this stuff anywhere. This is just aluminum. You could, again, use a block of wood. So you're pretty much just, well, yeah, board's in the way. Anyway, let's see here. I'll go over here. This will be better. So like for this one, it's pretty easy. You get up against here and you can put some downward pressure. Boom. Flip it. One more time. And that should be good. I mean, it's kind of pointless to do this, but you can if you're like a perfectionist and do the same thing. Scrape, scrape, boom. Or file that down. One other thing that you might want to get, this one came with a kit. Just, again, when you go to Home Depot or wherever, Ace, you get a little bit of this sandpaper. Just get like a little brass brush. It's good for cleaning this type of stuff off. And also, it's good at cleaning gummy stones. So if you use alcohol, again, this gummy stone's kind of old, but it kind of, it'll clean it off a little bit. See, gummy stone, clean. Get that little bit of rust off, or it pushes it in. So anyway, alcohol is very, very useful. Just regular rubbing alcohol, little spray bottle. Again, put that on your shopping list. Okay. Okay, scraping time. This one is going to remove the most right off the bat. Sometimes you have to see where the board is, like to get stuff off the tip and tail. You might have to do that to start, because you can press hard and lift the whole board up. But anyway, just kind of with your elbow, kind of getting it down here. I like to get it off the front first so that I can start doing like big moves, and then this side sharper. This is the one that's gonna take the most effort for the part of the process. You want to get all of it off, dude. It's gonna take a while depending on your technique, but there's a lot on the tail, so get that tail up there so that you can this is the only part that I kind of don't go tip to tail. I'm gonna get some of that wax off, some of the chunky stuff. Once you punch through the chunky stuff, then you can just do long pulls. So you can use this. This one again, really cool. Keep in mind we've sharpened it, so you can really push into it. If you're having a hard time getting these edges, you can kind of, when I told you about bending in, so okay, like this is, well, that's coming off. This base is pretty straight, but if you, I don't know if you can see, but if you bend it in a little, then you can like kind of do channels if you have to. But generally speaking, most boards, you can just get into it, push down. I'm like bending the crap out of this little one, this triangle one. These triangle ones, again, told you before, it's just a good design, gives you more. Think you want a sharper edge. Again, I went years without sharpening these, and I never had a problem. Board's always nice and fast. I already did this before, but the video ran out of, or the GoPro ran out of battery power. To do the edges, all the scrapers have these little corners cut out of them. Boom, boom, boom. So you just take it, tilt it so you're not taking wax off the edge, or off the base, sorry. You are trying to take wax off the edge to just kind of tilt it, and just tilt in until you get all that wax off. Again, I already did it on another video, but it didn't actually record the video because I was out of battery. Maybe here. There you go. See, coming right off. Don't get into the base when you do that. See, so like that. This thick one is good for like the initial work. finer work. You want something that's going to bend and go with the imperfections of the base a little bit. So watch here, I'll show you. So pressing pretty hard, and that's all I got off, just that little bit. But with this one, bet you I got a lot more. Look at how much I got off, that much more. Because again, these are just so good, you can really get a lot of force into them. So you can do it like, you can tilt it this way or this way. Still a lot on this edge. These edges will bite you if you run your finger along them, so be careful when you're coming in low angle. Quite a bit still down here. This is where like bending the scraper can come in. Very effective. Super, super effective. This is getting pretty close to good for me. Yeah. That's all that's coming off, so I'm going to call that good. And this one's dirty, so give it a whatever. It's not going to matter, but give it a little wipe. So now we're doing tip to tail instead of tail to tip that we did with the brass. This is going to throw off quite a bit depending on how much you scraped off. See, I'm running into, I don't think I scraped completely there. Something's up. Oh, that's a little ding in the base. Whatever. All right. Anyway, just kind of snagging. So this is why. So if you look at the clearance right there, this is why I removed that handle. Because see, if this was around here, then it would like scrape the base. It's just, I don't know. It's supposed to be for safety. I don't use it. I've got a little gap, you know, because you don't want to be like scraping your base like this. So kind of put pressure on this side to keep that up. Anyway, if you want, you could flip it and do reverse, but that's kind of a pain. You just kind of get the technique to where you don't scrape the far side. I find myself sometimes going like this to like polish stuff out. going like back and forth. You can see the nylon has a really cool effect like this. Some people cross hatch. I don't cross hatch, but you could if you wanted to, kind of like that. Anyway, tip to tail is the way to do it. I am doing a little bit more speed with the nylon. New battery. These 12 batteries kind of suck. They're old. So again, nylon is like hard pressure. I'm like pressing like down there. I'm pushing here. And then I always like to set the brushes on like wood or something. Something like that. Let's see. There's a little bit of extra that I didn't scrape off quite well enough. There you go. You start to see like little bumps where the wax built up a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Now it's nice and polished out. Take your blue towel if you want. Huh? I mean, you got like a little teeny line, you can't even see it, so it's pretty much out of there. I honestly think that horsehair is like good if you're the horsehair that I'm about to do after this nylon. I think that it's effective, but I also think it's mostly for racing. Keeping in mind that One Ball J does participate in the legendary bank slalom at Mount Baker, so that is every little bit of speed matters for that. But again, for us mortals, I don't think it matters that much. Horsehair. Sometimes I will take my, I don't know if you can see, but there's like a lot of like dust in there, a lot of like wax there. So it builds up, so you can blow that out with canned air. Sometimes I'll use my compressor. Again, depends on how detailed you want to get. I wouldn't say that any of this dust is going back into the base or anything, but it can sometimes give you like a false reading of like you think you're not when you drag this down it. You're actually picking up stuff from like the last runs that came off of here, last passes, and it's seems like you may have more wax on your base than you actually do because it's coming out of the roller from the previous run. Light pressure, less speed, like I was doing more of that. There it is. It's good to go. It's a slick board. Thing's gonna move out. I don't really have any rub on. I could do maybe a little a little video in the future of how I do my rub-ons, or how I do my hot waxes. I'll basically just like take it and like put it on here and crayon it on, and then I take wax and just like push it, the wax, or the cork, I'm sorry. So you take in the cork and you're like pushing it in, and that kind of heats everything up enough to like kind of push the wax in. Quick and dirty. Quick and dirty, you can use like a scrubby. Anyway, I don't have it handy. I don't know where it is. Quick and dirty, you can do a kitchen sponge scrubby, but that doesn't really do what the cork does. But again, you'll take this stuff, you'll crayon it on, and then you'll take the cork, you'll do that, and then in theory you can brush it out, but you don't have a horsehair brush, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. So that's it. That's how you do it. That's how you finish with the roto brushes, and you can kind of see it's, I mean, this board's slick. It's good. It's good. This thing will glide really, really nice. The main difference between the X-Wax and the four-wheel drive wax, even though they're for the same temperature, this one, so it says 28 to 21. This one, the four-wheel drive, is a little more forgiving on temperature. Like, it'll still be good like up to like 30 or 31, 32, and be good down to like 18 or whatever. Because again, keep in mind that the snow temp is always cooler than the air temp. So usually like 5 to 10 degrees. So if it's going to be 30 degrees out, you tend to wax at like 25 to 20 degrees anyway. That you don't need to know that stuff right now. But this is going to be a little bit more forgiving of temperature variance outside that range. The X-Wax theoretically isn't as forgiving. So you got to be more accurate with the temperature that you're waxing for with the X-Wax. But I've also found that it's got a little forgiveness on its own. So anyway, that's it. I'm gonna have to redo the part about actual waxing with the iron, because I ran out of GoPro power. But all right, that's it. Later.